Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Word to my brethren all around the world watching this video. Hope you're having a great day today as you're tuning in. Do yourself a damn favor, hit the subscribe button, and surely you will not be disappointed. Now, the latest news in the saga, the long-going, drawn-out saga known as April the 13th. We're just going to start calling the saga April the 13th until Anthony Joshua finds an opponent. But Dillian Whyte and Eddie Hearn are trading words over the Anthony Joshua deal fallout. You know, obviously, we've known for a while now that AJ was slated to fight on April the 13th. We've known this since before the Povetkin fight back in September that he was supposed to fight on April the 13th. And it's right now as I'm making this video, it's February the 1st, 2019. You know, there's still no opponent for Anthony Joshua because we know that Fury and Wilder are going to fight each other. And then now the next best thing is Dillian Whyte and making a rematch there because Dillian Whyte has turned himself into quite the draw in the UK. And a rematch at Wembley Stadium would be a very, very good fight in terms of commercial success in the UK. We know that much. But according to Dillian Whyte, the way everything is going, he's saying that Eddie Hearn, with the way he's trying to make a deal with him, that it's nowhere near being done and that his attempts are very half-hearted. He also states that he's not happy with the money being offered, and he's not happy with the lack of time to do proper drug testing protocol with VADA. So there's that. Here's what Dillian Whyte had to say in regards to this whole Anthony Joshua Eddie Hearn saga. He said, I quote, "It's clear to me that they have never been serious about making a fight for April the 13th. If they were serious, they should have started negotiating sooner with more realistic terms. The way Eddie is going about business, Joshua won't be fighting me, Wilder, or Fury anytime soon. They've had this Wembley Stadium date booked for ages, and have known AJ was available since he beat Alexander Povetkin on September 22nd, yet didn't even make an initial offer until January the 10th. We could have made this fight if Joshua really wanted it, but it has been clear to me all along that they've been focused on making the Jarrell Miller fight in New York City on DAZN. Eddie has been trying to make him and Joshua look like they made it in a serious attempt to fight me on April the 13th. But I know Eddie, I've dealt with him for years, and he didn't make a real attempt. It's so obvious. Joshua doesn't want to fight me. He wants to go to America and fight Miller. That is easy money, 100%. This was their plan the whole time." Eddie Hearn, in reaction to that, he said this about Dillian Whyte. He said, I quote, "Of course we were serious about the fight. We wouldn't waste everyone's time with 3 different offers. We don't do it for fun. AJ controls the finances, and the offers came from AJ. As a WBO mandatory challenger, Dillian Whyte was due 20%, and the final offer was considerably more than that. Dillian has a perception of his value in the fight. We respect that, and we'll continue to work with him and grow his stock in the heavyweight division. I like the Joshua Whyte fight. I do think Dillian Whyte deserves a title shot. The carrot here is if you beat Anthony Joshua, you become a great star. There is still a chance that this fight could be made in May or June," end quote. Now, to address the latter part of Eddie Hearn's statement in regards to Dillian Whyte, in the UK, and I'm speaking specifically and only about the UK. In the UK, Dillian Whyte is already a great star. He doesn't need Anthony Joshua to be a great star. To be honest with you, I mean, look, Anthony Joshua, if you do fight him, if you even do as so much as just fight the guy, you're gonna be in a better position than you were before because he's a big name. He's arguably the face of world boxing. I mean, so it's not a bad thing to fight Anthony Joshua. Dillian's been with Anthony Joshua, and unlike most fighters, unlike Deontay Wilder, he's actually done a pretty good job in becoming a box office attraction in the UK. I mean, when he fought Joseph Parker, he did damn near 500,000 pay-per-view buys over there. So he's a good, stable draw over there. And my thing is this. I love Eddie Hearn. In fact, I got a couple of videos coming out soon that are going to be praising Eddie Hearn because I think there's some great things he's doing for fighters here in America that needs to be highlighted. So stay tuned for those. But when it comes to fighting Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte is correct. Okay, he is correct. They've had those dates booked literally since like July or August of last year. They've known since the moment Anthony Joshua knocked out Alexander Povetkin that Anthony was available for that date, right? So my thing is this. I understand the priorities. I understand, you have Fury, you have Wilder. And obviously, the main goal I know for the Anthony Joshua side of things was to secure the Deontay Wilder fight for undisputed. And quite frankly, like, look, people who want to get on Wilder for not wanting to fight AJ, I mean, I get it. You know, the guy he's basically the way I look at Wilder is like he basically is the boy who cried wolf. He's been screaming one face, one name, one champion. Here he had a chance to kind of like prove it, and you know, he hasn't been stepping up to the plate. But at the same time, it's like he's not stepping up to the plate because there's still unfinished business with Tyson Fury, and it's a big fight. And unlike last year, as I've said many times, unlike last year, you know, it's a fight that would do a lot for him. It's a fight for undisputed, so we don't take that lightly here on True School Sports. It's about as good as you can get in boxing. But at the same time, he doesn't need Anthony Joshua right now, at this particular moment. He doesn't need him right now as much because he can still make a great fight with Fury. So that hasn't happened. We know Fury hasn't happened because he wanted 50%, and Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua were not willing to budge on the 50%. So now it's like the best and most viable option at the top of the list is Dillian Whyte. And, you know, honestly, I'll be honest with you. If Dillian Whyte says that they have never been serious about fighting Anthony Joshua, about making the fight between him and Joshua, the rematch, I believe him. I straight up believe him because Dillian Whyte doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's gonna duck someone. Dillian Whyte doesn't strike me as someone who's gonna duck, you know, reasonable offers to fight Anthony Joshua. He doesn't duck me as someone who would, you know, like not take a fight for undisputed. You know, I've been saying ever since before any of this stuff with Fury, Wilder, or Whyte happened. I've been saying since the minute I saw Anthony Joshua in Madison Square Garden on television when he was ringside for the Canelo Rocky and Philly fight, I said these boys are gonna fight in America. I even made a video about it. I think I titled it something like Anthony Joshua and the allure of fighting in America. I think I'll put it right here so you guys can go see it. But I've always thought, regardless of what Eddie Hearn has said, regardless of what Anthony Joshua said, that the next fight for him was going to be Jarrell Big Baby Miller in America for his debut. I've explained the reasons many times, but if I gotta explain it again, I'll explain it again. There's not any much bigger he can get in the UK. Unless he fights Wilder or Fury. They're not fighting each other, okay? So there's that. And then, to be quite honest with you, I don't think, and this is my personal opinion. I know you don't like to hear my opinion, but I think my opinion is rooted in some sort of reality here because Dillian Whyte is a dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua. It really is. And I think Anthony Joshua will beat Dillian Whyte. I'd pick him to beat Dillian Whyte. But it's no walk in the park. Dillian Whyte lands that one left hook. If he finds that right shot, Anthony Joshua can go to sleep. And there you go. Just like that, Anthony Joshua is no longer the cash cow of the division. He's not the face of world boxing. And his profile will be lowered. Eddie Hearn knows this, so he's like, okay, well, he can't get much bigger in the UK. That Whyte fight's not going to take him there. So I think the best move for him right now is to go to make his American debut. The opponent really doesn't matter as much as what going over there and fighting in front of the Americans, the Yanks, as the Brits like to say, would do for his career because there's a lot of money here in America. I mean, let's just use our noggins here for a second. Let's use our brains. Why in the hell do you think Eddie Hearn, who has UK boxing just on lock, he has UK boxing in the freaking Cobra Clutch, why would he take his ass over here to America and start Matchroom Boxing USA? Let's ask ourselves that question. Let's pause. Let's ponder. The reason he's in America, okay, the reason he came to America and he branched out to America is because America has the do-re-mis, the guap, the cheddar, the dinero, the money. There's a lot of money here, okay? There's a lot of money to be had in America. There's a lot of money to be made in America. And there's a lot of people that still do not know who Anthony Joshua is here in America. The same way they don't know about Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. But what I'm saying is, with Anthony Joshua being this undefeated heavyweight champion with all these belts, all these knockouts, being as marketable as he is, being someone that by many people is recognized as the man in the division, that guy should be fighting in America. Not all the time, but at least enough to where, okay, the American public, not just the hardcore fans, but the American public at large can get familiar with this guy from the UK who's getting all the title named Anthony Joshua. And Eddie understands that. I've understood that. That's why every video I made here since the Canelo Rocky Fielding fight, I've tried to sell you guys they will be fighting in America. That's the fight Eddie's gonna be gunning for, because he understands from a business standpoint there is no better fight right now available to him. So that's that. As for Dillian Whyte, I mean, look, I think whatever, I understand it's for Undisputed, and look, he's fought Joshua already, okay, and he's earned a title shot. They gotta find a compromise. Whatever's going on, they gotta find a compromise. You know, Dillian Whyte has turned himself and became one of Eddie Hearn's big draws, and it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, Anthony Joshua is a good fighter. You know it's for Undisputed. You know that if you beat him, you're gonna be the man. You're gonna be looked at by many as a man in the division. But at the same time, it's like if there's no reasonable offer being made, and he gets that sense of this guy's not really trying to fight me, and they're gunning for Jarrell Miller, I believe it, because I've always believed that they were going to go to America to fight Jarrell Miller, because it's an easier fight. There's not as much of a threat. You know, the reward for what Anthony Joshua could produce in that fight, just by coming here in the long run, it's way greater than what he could gain being Dillian Whyte. And I know Eddie Hearn thinks like this. So that's the news. Eddie Hearn, Dillian Whyte falling out, trading words over the Anthony Joshua fight. He's not happy about what's going on, but Dillian Whyte makes some valid points. He makes some valid points, whether you love what I'm saying or not. Dillian Whyte and me, I agree with him because he makes some valid points. As far as the drug testing goes with VADA, I don't know. I have to look more into that, but with him saying, look, they've had this date for a long time. Why is it that it's January the 10th and they made me an offer when they could have made him an offer then? Because quite honestly, look, boxing negotiations, you could be a promoter and you could offer 3-4 fighters the same thing, or make four different offers at the same time. He could have made Whyte an offer in October. They could have had this fight. They could have, honestly, I want you to think about this. They could have had the Dillian Whyte Anthony Joshua fight done and dusted, and they could have had the fight finalized before Fury and Wilder even fought in December, because they fought on December the 1st. Joshua fought on September the 22nd. So that's like what, 2 months and some change before Wilder and Fury had their first fight. It could have been done and negotiated before then, but Eddie Hearn waited and waited and waited, and it's kind of bit him in the behind. So I'm just saying. Look, there's no more I can say. I'm just gonna be talking in circles. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below about Dillian Whyte. Not being happy with the offers, saying that he makes some good valid points, I think. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree with Hearn? Do you think he's being a big, like Bruce Vane said? My man Bruce Vane made a video, and I love his videos. I watch almost all of them. Bruce Vane made a video saying that this era will be known as the biggest. These heavyweights from this era will be known as the biggest bunch of, he said, pussies. And he actually put the word pussy in the title, so big shout out to him. He out here keeping it 100. It was a great video. But Dillian Whyte is no pussy. Pussy and Dillian Whyte shouldn't even be associated with each other, because this guy's fought a whole host of fighters. Joseph Parker. He fought Chisora twice in 2 really entertaining fights. He fought Anthony Joshua for the British title. He fought Robert Helenius. He's been there with some name heavyweights. So you can't attach that name to him. You can't attach that to his name. He just wants to be compensated fairly. And if he feels he's not being compensated fairly, then that's his prerogative. He's put in a lot of work to get to this point in his career, and probably more than any other heavyweight that's not a champion. And he wants to make sure it pays off for him. So I'm not even mad at that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single one of these videos. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding from Dillian. So until next time, take care, guys.